All right. Looks like we're alive. Looks like we are up and running on Facebook, possibly on 93.5 FM, where I've been doing this show for nearly 2 decades, serving all people, all colors, all religions, all preferences of life and walks of life. No matter who you are or what you're doing here in this country, if you're a good person and you need our help, we are here for you. My name is Adam Handler. It is Thursday, June 4th, and you are now officially cruising with the Case Handler, a show from attorneys, by attorneys, about attorneys, here to answer your legal questions 100%, no strings attached, for free, whether it's on this show or off this show over the phone. We are here to help you, and we will not charge you for information. The only thing we will ask you to do as a courtesy to us is share this page, comment on the page, like the page, be active on social media. So this is something that can spread in a good way. So much has been going on these past couple of months, such terrible news with respect to people's health, and such terrible news with respect to people's rights and violations thereof. So please, we're really trying to make a difference and do the things the right way, helping all people. And I can ask you, please share this page. And of course, if you like what we're saying and you believe in us, hire us. We're here to help. We won't lead you astray. And certainly if it's something that we can't handle for you, meaning there's no case to have, we are not going to take your money and tell you later on that's the case. We will be upfront and painfully honest with you right away. Again, my name is Adam Handler. I am your case handler. I'm a partner of Pollack, Isaac DeSico. I handle the personal injury department. I have two of my partners on this show today, Conrad, the maestro, Pollack, the managing partner, son of the founding attorney of this firm, and of course, Nelson, the Maverick Madrid, here to answer your questions with respect to immigration. And today is Thursday. And Thursday, what does it mean? What do Thursdays mean to us, Nelson?
The general.
Actually, the general.
Right.
We have a special guest.
Let me wake you up, Nelson.
The general.
That was your cue, man. And it's not, you had your shot.
We're not talking about that other general in the news. We're talking about our general. There's another general in the news today. We're not going to discuss him.
Not the general of law and order, the general of immigration, the man with, as Squeeze says, the links, and able to do things that most other immigration attorneys cannot do. And that's because he is the most experienced immigration attorney out there, advertising, putting himself out there, working day and night. What's that Michael Jackson song? She's got me working day and night. That's what he does. And with that, with that experience comes respect. We salute you, the general. We're happy to have you on. And let's get this party started. Squeeze, Wagwan King, good morning. The sun is shining. The weather is sweet. I'm here to move your dancing feet to the rescue. Here I am.
Want to say a super pleasant good morning, reaching out to each and everyone on the panel today, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard from the case handler. He's an attorney at the law firm PPID. He runs the personal injury department. A very famous individual he is, because he has settled so much in millions of dollars for his clients across the Caribbean community and beyond. And I'm very happy that he's a very dear friend of mine. Okay, still have yet to come visit me, but that's okay. I still have yet to go visit him down there in Jersey, but that's all right. And
we'll meet at Conrad's house. That's halfway.
That's, as a matter of fact, he just mentioned
it's actually not a dumb idea.
He's just like 11 minutes from me, So,
they
just hop over there one day to do the show with him there.
You probably should.
Yeah. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's Cruising with the Case Handler. So it's time for you to turn up your radios on 93.5 WVIP FM. It's 25 minutes before the hour. It's time for you to get your immigration questions ready if you'd like to have them answered by any of the three phenomenal immigration attorneys we've got here. It's time for you to also store the number. God forbid you get into an accident. You need only one man, and that is the case handler, aka the shark. Why? Because he goes for the juggler, with the insurance companies rather, and other entities to get the maximum amount of money for you when you get hurt in that accident. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, turn up your radios. And what you can do for us now is to share the phone number with everyone. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529, so that people can get their immigration questions answered. And also share the page that you are watching. Share the page on Facebook, which is my page, David Squeeze Annakie, or of course, Adam Handler's page, okay, the case handler. And also, of course, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Once you go to the search bar, you type in any of those names, they will just pop right up. You click on it, you go to the live video, and you actually just click on share at the bottom, and that's it. The other part that I'd love for you all to do, subscribe to the page. Like, follow, and subscribe to the page, so when we go live, you will get notification. Let's turn it up, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be a great day. We're alive. We're in a disastrous state in the capacity of politics, and also, of course, where our so-called general is concerned, but he's not my general. He's just my president, unfortunately, and that's the guy by the name of DT. All right, but we are here and we're standing up. We're fighting back, okay, not physically, because we don't condone that, but we're fighting back, of course, in not just numbers, but also, of course, rights. So I want to say thanks to the attorneys here who also enforce your rights, and I love what it is that they've been doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show on the road. And today I want to say welcome to the general. Let me fix his screen name here, as Nelson told me to. Alan K, how you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Okay, we've got to give you the respect, because these guys keep telling me how many years you got under your belt. So although Conrad Pollack is the managing partner of the firm and everything, when you come on the show, I got to say, let me, of course, bring about the general right now. Hopefully everything is going great with you, Alan K, AKA the general. I don't know if there's anything you want to touch on quickly before I speak to the other attorneys.
Well, I'll just give you a couple of quick things. We have a new district director in New York. He had been the acting district director. He's now permanent. He's a great guy. His name is Timothy Houghton. I've known him for a number of years. Very good sign that we have a permanent district director in Tim Houghton. So that's
Alan, I'm sorry, you're talking about at the USCIS district office in New York City, correct?
Exactly.
Right.
So we've got a new district director at USCIS district office. He had been the acting district director. He's now the permanent district director, Tim Houghton. Great guy. He's been there for quite a while. I've known him for a long time. Secondly, as Conrad has said a number of times, immigration fees are likely to be going up. And one that should concern everybody is naturalization applications will almost double to go from $640 filing fee to $1,170 filing fee. So if you're thinking of filing for naturalization, you should do it as soon as possible before they raise the filing fee from $640 to $1,170. The other announcement that I'd like to tell you about, that immigration and district office at 26 Federal Plaza should open June 15th, but it will open with oath ceremonies only. So people who were scheduled to be sworn in as citizens, they will be called in, no guests, 10 people at a time will be in the room. So that's something, it's a good sign, at least they're starting to move. As far as the people who are going to be interviewed, they're not ready for that yet. So if you have filed for naturalization and you haven't been called for an interview yet, that's coming. First phase is people who are going to be called for oath ceremonies to be sworn in as citizens. So that's some of the interesting things. We have more later on, but let everybody else get a crack at talking.
Oh, and that's great. And I really appreciate that information. And then just hearing this kind of stuff just, makes me so happy. Squeeze, I'm sure you feel the same way. We truly
absolutely
have a law show, man. I mean, that is something that has never, ever been done on this radio station. A true show about lawyers, practicing lawyers. And I've said this a couple weeks ago. Alan Kay, I have the utmost respect for, and I'll tell you why. This is a man that literally goes to court every day. In the dead of winter, I've seen this man leaving for court and coming from court. A huge briefcase, a huge bag on wheels, really pounding it out. And, a lot of people would say somebody with that much experience and somebody that's gained that much respect would have somebody holding his bag. That's not him. He is in the trenches, a general that is in the trenches, which you just don't see anywhere. He is, it's like James Brown, one of the hardest working men in show business. And that's something I certainly commend about Alan. And I am just absolutely thrilled that we have this show going, and we're letting the people know there is a law firm out there that does things completely different than every other law firm out there, right? And I'm saying, not even saying New York City and not New York State, in the country. Pollack, Isaac DeSico, we do things very, very differently. We're practicing attorneys. We have decades and decades, and we probably have a century of experience altogether with respect to handling our specific areas of law. Of course, I'm personal injury. Nelson, Alan, and Conrad are immigration, and we have real estate and litigation and criminal defense and matrimonial. But again, it all starts with having that number saved. Unless you have our number saved, there is no way that we will be able to be your attorneys. We don't hang out at Federal Plaza. We don't hang out in the emergency room. You must have that number saved and give us a call, 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID-LAW. The only number you need to be connected to truly great practicing attorneys that are going to treat you like family.
Absolutely. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Cruising with a Case Handler. And we're going to jump right into it because we want to squeeze in as much on 93.5 FM before we get to the top of the hour. We're speaking on personal injury. You just heard the voice of Adam Handler, the case handler. We're speaking on immigration. Conrad, batter up. You are the one that's up. Let's jump into immigration real quick. Straight on the Facebook page. Andres wants to ask you, my father is filing for me and I'm at the stage where they need proof of money from the sponsor, which is my father. But I'd like to know if I can be my own sponsor. That's one live on the Facebook page right now.
No.
Very simple and very straightforward answer. Wow, that was so complex.
No, look, it doesn't hurt for her to supply her own tax returns and job letters and so on. I mean, that's a good thing. Because if you're the beneficiary and you've been in the country for a long time, perhaps illegally, I don't know the details here, but if you have been in the U.S. a long time, especially if you've been here illegally, you still want to show, even though it's not necessarily required, you want to show that you've been working here, that you're paying taxes, that you're doing all the right things, obeying the law, clean criminal record, and so on. Because, we've had several clients, and Nelson, Allen, you'll back me up here, clients have been here for 10, 20 years and never filed a tax return. One of the first things we say to them is, you know what, you better get your taxes straightened out, because even though it may not be a specific requirement, the judge or the immigration examiner is going to look at you and say, you've been here all this time and you never filed taxes, you've never worked. What are you doing? Are you a drug dealer? You working off the books? What are you doing? So, and these are little nuances I'm just throwing in there, stuff that falls between the cracks that the average person, without a lawyer is not going to know. But someone with my experience, with Nelson's experience, with Alan's half a century of experience, you're going to see that there are different things like this, like these little nuggets that people aren't aware of. But in answer to that person's question, she needs an affidavit of support from her father. And if her father's not making enough money, a joint sponsor has to provide an affidavit. They need documentation, and she might need that new I-944 form regarding the public charge, which changed and became effective on February 24th this year. We need more details. I would suggest that she contacts us. She has the number, and we could probably help her a lot more specifically than I can right now.
Absolutely. Squeeze, if I could just add, it's not just paying taxes, right? Because I've also met with clients who say, yeah, I pay taxes. How much do you declare, right? What's your annual income? $5,000 a year. No one lives with $5,000 a year in New York. Okay, so just
or anywhere.
That's something I wanted to point out. It's not a secret. It's not a mystery. It's not a surprise. No one likes to pay taxes. Guess what immigration always wants to look at?
Absolutely, your taxes. And that's the reason why I pay your taxes. And by the way, folks, when you speak with the attorneys at PPID at 844-774-3529, I'm quite sure they'll point you in the right direction about, you going and taking care of your taxes. They're not a CPA firm. They're not an accounting firm, but I'm quite sure they'll point you in the right direction and advise you accordingly. And once again, this is Cruising with the Case Handler. We're speaking on immigration. Read them up, Adam, because coming to you in a few minutes, a few short minutes, you are going to be giving us a true success story. So
I got
make
a
sure
good
you get
one.
ready for that, man. I'm coming to you
I got a
shortly.
good one.
So stand by, man. We are speaking on immigration. We're speaking on personal injury. Let's go back to another one. Here's one for you. The general can take it, or Nelson, why don't you take this one? Shana K, right on the Facebook page, right there, says, my immigration question is, how easy or hard is it for someone to change their immigration status on an expired internship visa? Nelson, you're up. Batter up. Swing it.
Let's go, baby.
Again, as I've mentioned in the past, it all depends how well the person may actually be subject to a bar depending on how long they've been out of status. Once you're out of status, changing your status is really not an option. In fact, if the person has been out of status for 6 months or more, the person is subject to a 3-year bar if they leave the United States. If the person has been out of status for a year or more, they are subject to the 10-year bar. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, if I could just jump in, just to emphasize here, she said that her visa's expired, her status is expired. If your status expires one day, right? Your status expired yesterday, so it's been one day. You cannot change your status. You are illegal. You are out of status. You cannot change your status to any other kind of visa. And as Nelson said, if you overstay 6 months and then leave, you're subject to a 3-year bar. If you stay for a year and leave, you can't come back here for 10 years. In fact, we get this frequently also, the only thing that person can do if she's out of or he is out of status is to get married. If you marry a U.S. citizen, you can apply and get your green card through adjustment of status. That is pretty much the only thing you could do if you let your visa expire.
That's it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Cruisin with a case handler each and every single weekday at 8:30 a.m. right here. Sunday, 7 p.m. Saturday, 7 p.m. Sunday is 12 noon. Make sure you check it out. We're answering your immigration questions. You can call 8. As a matter of fact, you know what? Everybody out there, dial this number and you will get a free phone consultation off the air. Okay? And then you hire the attorneys. But take it for a test drive first. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. I've poured some gasoline on the show this morning. It's going to get very fiery, meaning that we're going to have a lot of questions coming in, ladies and gentlemen, on personal injury, on immigration. And everyone knows if it's immigration, you dial 844-774-3529. If it's personal injury, you need only one man, and that is the case handler, Adam Handler. 844-774-3529. General, you're not getting off that easy. You are the 5-star general. Okay, here's one for you. This is live on Facebook also. Good morning, guys. Good morning. It is, guys. Is it mandatory to take your spouse to the citizenship interview if it's based on the 3-year rule? Interesting.
If you're happy,
mandatory to take your spouse to the citizenship interview if it's based on the 3-year rule.
yeah, it would be a good idea to your spouse who's a U.S. citizen doesn't have to come to the interview, but she should be in the room. They want to make sure she's still alive and she is still with you. So it's not mandatory. In fact, the interview is just for you. The interview is not for you and your spouse, but it would be a good idea for your spouse to come to the interview. And also you want to show at the interview, you're still living with your spouse. You have to bring a lot of documentation to show you're still living under the same roof. Because
okay.
Squeeze, if I could just add.
Yeah,
go ahead,
and we'll jump to Adam. Yeah.
It's all of this again is discretionary, and it really depends on the officer. Some officers may just want to see your wife and tell her to wait in the waiting area. Other officers may tell her to come in and not necessarily even ask her a question. But the 3-year rule, again, it's a privilege to become a citizen after 3 years. So some officers are stricter than others. You should definitely bring your wife with you to the appointment. Again, it depends on the officer whether or not she'll be allowed into the actual interview room.
Okay.
If I could just elaborate one more point, what this person is talking about. Typically, you can apply for citizenship after you've had a green card for 5 years. That's everybody. You have your green card for 5 years. You're physically present in the U.S. for at least half of that time. You can apply for citizenship. I mean, a couple of other requirements as well. The exception to that rule, or the principal exception, what we're discussing here, if you got your green card, or if you're married to a U.S. citizen, you have your green card for 3 years, you can apply for citizenship after 3. You don't have to wait for 5 years. That's what this person is talking about. And what Nelson and Alan mentioned, it's an exception. It's a discretionary exception, but it is an exception to that 5-year rule. And it's the only one, basically. You have to be married to that U.S. citizen spouse and prove that you're still together in order to get your green card, the citizenship after 3 years.
That's it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the number is 844-774-3529. Everyone that's tuning into the program, you will get a free immigration phone consultation, but you got to call before the top of the hour. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Let's flip it from immigration over to personal injury to my man. And of course, his Hawaiian shirt and the dark glasses, and he is shaving, looking all cool and everything. The man who is known as the Shark. You hear that boom, 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 boom in the background, okay? This is the man that goes for a lot of money for you when he's fighting for you as an attorney. Hence the reason why you should call 844-PPID Law and store the number. Adam Handler, it's all yours. Tell us why you're the money man.
Oh, man, I'm going to bring this one home. Loving the energy today. Listen, I'm the money man because I care. I'm the money man because nobody out there cares more than I do. There's a lot of great lawyers out there, all right? But not every lawyer has the same approach. You know, there's one thing to get a successful result, but there's another thing to make sure that the client feels important, feels cared about, feels looked after, feels informed, feels part of the process. And that's exactly how we handle our business here. And that's why literally thousands of people over the course of my career have come to me for their one and only shot at financial compensation. Again, our number is 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID Law. I'm well over $120 million for my clients over the course of my career. And that's a number I am certainly proud of. A lot of people, you know, don't like to talk about money. They think it's taboo. But listen, that's the only thing I can do for you. The civil justice system here in the United States provides for one remedy and one remedy only. That is monetary compensation for your medical bills, your time out of work, and of course, your pain and suffering. A lot of people watching the show may be saying, who the hell does this guy think he is dressed like that right now? But I'll tell you who I am. I'm a guy that under normal circumstances would be in my office or in court right now, sweating through my suit, right? I mean, we wear suits every day when we go to court and battle it out during the weather. And I got to tell you, we only have a few more weeks of this, hopefully, that we'll be home working, but I'm going to take advantage of every moment of it. So I'm going to feel comfortable. I'm going to feel good. And when I feel good, I do good work. So let's bring it to a true life success story. This is actually the first testimonial Tuesday we ever did. And excuse me, I got to take a peek here. There we are. The first testimonial Tuesday ever was a case in which we helped somebody. She's going to go by the initials DP. This is literally, the first one that we did years and years ago. And it's a $600,000 settlement, which is actually funny because yesterday's settlement that we talked about, which is very recent, was also a $600,000 settlement. This is tax-free money, ladies and gentlemen. Squeeze, do me that favor and read that quote, please.
Adam is someone you can trust. Let me repeat that because that's a fact. Adam is someone you can trust. Okay, when I first met him, I knew he was the one for my case. DP in Queens. Settlement, $600,000. And we're talking about US greenbacks. We're not talking about some other currency. We're talking about the most important currency in the world, US greenbacks, okay, US dollars. And this was for a slip and fall accident. And I want to add, Adam is truly someone you can trust. I trust him with my life. I trust him even to handling my mom's case, my family's cases. So ladies and gentlemen, I believe you should trust him also. But listen to his story as he continues right here on Cruisin with a Case Handler. Adam?
Yeah, this was an interesting case. This was an individual that was working at Dunkin' Donuts, and I forget the name of the drink, but they got some drink that involves some kind of like pureed banana in it. And they ran out of banana. So what does the manager do? The manager tells my client to go next door to the supermarket and get some bananas. And she does that. And she's got her Dunkin' Donuts uniform on, and she goes to the produce aisle and picks up those bananas and checks out. And as she's leaving the store, she slips and falls. Why does she slip and fall? Because there was a carpet there that was so soaked with water right by the door that had froze over. There had been a snowstorm a few days before. And of course, like any responsible store owner would do, they put down a carpet or a mat to make sure that people coming in and out had some traction and weren't slipping and falling. The problem is that they put the mat down, but they totally ignored the condition of the mat. And the mat was actually more dangerous than the floor. And she went down on her knee. She wound up having a knee surgery. Now, why is it important that we mention that she was working at Dunkin' Donuts? Because it was also a workers' compensation case, right? If you are on the job and you are hurt on the job, whether it's working as a CNA and pulling your back out, lifting a patient, or being on a construction site and falling off a ladder or a scaffolding collapsing on you, or in this case, she was still on the job, right? Her job duty at that specific time was going to the store to get the bananas for the drink. So she was eligible for workers' compensation. Her medical bills and her time out of work were paid. And then, of course, we were able to go after and get her money. Now, why were we able to go after and get her money? A lot of people say, well, if you're hurt on the job, your only remedy is workers' compensation. Yes, that is true when the only person responsible is your boss. You can't sue your job in New York or New Jersey. But she wasn't working at the supermarket, right? That was an independent entity that we were able to bring a claim against. So we were able to do that successfully, $600,000, literally the first testimonial Tuesday we ever posted. I haven't talked about this case in years, an oldie but goodie, but I will add one final thing. I still speak to this woman all the time on at least a monthly basis, because with this money, she put her kids through college. With this money, she was able to bring up her mother from Florida and live with her and take care of her so she wouldn't have to be in a nursing home. And we speak every month. She checks in with me, listens to the show, says, thank you so much for everything you do for me. So truly an amazing result, but also a bond that hopefully I'll always have for her during the course of my career. A case I'm really proud of. And thank you so much for letting me share that. Again, my phone number, 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID-LAW.
That's 844-774-3529. Once again, it's very important that if you're listening to this radio station, 93.5 FM here in New York, if you're watching us on Facebook, the important thing to take away from this is to dial the number, store the number, and also get yourself free consultations in the capacity of personal injury or immigration law. But you got to call the number now. And once again, it's a phone consultation. The number is 844-774-3529. As we conclude on 93.5 FM, the Cruisin with a Case Handler, what we're going to do is we're going to continue on Facebook. We got to remind you that there are also 3 convenience office locations. All right. And that office location, Nelson, is?
The office location is, we have an office in Brooklyn. It's 107 Avenue I, Brooklyn, New York. Mm-hmm. We have another office in Peekskill, which is 906 South Street, Peekskill, New York. And the main office is at 225 Broadway, New York, 3rd floor.
Yep, don't go any higher. All right, the 3rd floor. All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, 844-774-3529. We continue on Facebook. David Squeeze Atticus' Facebook page. Of course, Adam Handler's Facebook page. Also, of course, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico's Facebook page. So go to Facebook, ask your question. We got one immigration question coming up that I'm going to pop in a few seconds to the attorneys. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, immigration or personal injury, even criminal defense or real estate law and more. Make it one firm, ladies and gentlemen, and that is PPID. The number, 844-774-3529. Easily remembered, 844-PPID-LAW. Give us a ring, ladies and gentlemen. Let's flip to the Facebook side of things right now. Heating it up, we've got the General, Alan Kay. He's a top immigration attorney, in my opinion, throughout the entire United States. We've got Nelson Madrid, a.k.a. the Maverick, a man who is very keen on helping out a lot of people who have had issues out there, probably with criminal defense, but they're seeking immigration benefits. But also, of course, he handles everything else under the capacity of immigration. We've got a managing partner, Conrad Pollack, okay, the man who heads up the firm as far as running, being at the helm and making sure things go down right. All right. And of course, we call him the maestro. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we do have more immigration questions here. And I want to say thanks to each and every one for actually joining us this morning. Thanks to all the people who have been sharing the page. You know, a lot of people have been sharing the page. We've also put up this morning a WhatsApp group. So if anyone has any questions, you want to put your questions in a WhatsApp group. Let's say we end the show and you had a question. That link that we put on the page right there, you can place your question through that link and it will pop up in one of our WhatsApp group. And then I'll ask the question the following day, or I'll probably just forward it over to the attorneys so that they can respond directly to you. I am David Squeeze Annakie. Let's flip it to immigration. We've got Diane Jennifer Bailey. It says, good morning here, asking for a friend. He married a U.S. citizen, got the letter that is his green card, that his green card is approved. After waiting to get it, he got a message saying his green card disapproved, and he don't know why, so he is confused and don't know what to do. That's on the Facebook page right there. I don't know which of the immigration stalwarts wants to jump on that one.
This is an easy one. He needs to call us.
As simple as that, right?
Well, who knows why they approved and then denied the case. I mean, it does happen occasionally. Immigration does make mistakes. They might have approved the case by accident and then realized, hey, this guy has a felony arrest. So they denied it. I would strongly suggest if this person was recently denied, they need to contact us quickly, because typically you have 30 days to appeal a decision like that.
You know, Squeeze, if I could just add, sometimes, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but social media is fair game. Okay. So CIS can go on your Instagram, on your Facebook page, you know, see you flirting with another woman, see you flirting with another man, you know, your status is single. That calls into question the marriage. So these are things obviously people need to be aware of and need to be careful with.
Absolutely. Once again, folks, the number is 844-774-3529. If you have questions that you would like to ask of the immigration attorneys, now is the time to place those questions on Facebook. They can actually see the questions themselves while they're responding. So once again, make sure you make that link on Facebook, David Squeeze Annakee's Facebook page, Pollack, Isaac and Nasico, and of course the case handler. 844-774-3529. Call off air to get a private consultation, or place your questions if you want an immediate response now. And do remember that the information that you actually hear here on the show is not necessarily legal advice, ladies and gentlemen. You need to call them directly, privately, and confidentially, and of course, set up that appointment with them via phone consultation, or even later on, an in-person consultation down the road. 844-774-3529. Gentlemen, before we jump to any more questions, is there anything else you guys would like to talk about, seeing that we've just been popping questions this morning?
Well, actually, I wanted to say, I'm sorry, Nelson, just give me a sec. You know, I'm sorry I missed the show yesterday, but, you know, I was dealing with a situation where we have a client who was coming in from Mexico and got stopped at the border and was put into removal proceedings in the court in Texas. And that's really where I was yesterday, as opposed to being on the radio as usual. My point is that we don't just handle cases in New York. We do cases all over the country. We have clients all over the world. This is a typical situation that we deal with on a regular basis. We get a call from El Paso, Texas. My cousin is locked up. Can you help him get him out? It's a common situation. We have clients everywhere. Immigration is national. It's federal. So therefore, even if I'm admitted only in New York State, I can do a case in Florida. I can do a case in Alaska if I choose to. So everybody should be aware of that. Just because you might live in Kansas or you might be somewhere in Seattle right now doesn't mean we can't help you. On the contrary, we can help you wherever you are.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you can do a question in Jamaica as long as it has to do with U.S. immigration.
Right.
You can do
Dead, Nelson. I'm sorry.
You know,
Yeah, no, you know, Adam frequently talks about how we treat clients like family. Not only do we treat clients like family, we treat them with the utmost respect. And I think it's important to say that because I have many clients who start their case with other attorneys, you know, eventually meet with me for a second opinion and basically tell me how their prior attorney would insult them, you know, would show up late, you know, or would basically see them late, make them wait for an hour, not return their phone calls. They saw him once, made a payment, never saw him again. We don't work that way. That's not the way we operate. And I think that's what sets us apart from 90% of the law firms. Okay.
Go on.
No, I just, you know, and I think it's important to point that out because one of the things I tell people is you're paying for a service. We give you that service. You know, if you have a question at any time during your dependency of your case, and you want to speak to me, I will return your phone call. Not a paralegal, not a secretary, not a receptionist. I personally will return your phone call if I know it is, if I obviously know that you're calling, you've left me a voicemail, you've sent me an email, you will hear back directly from me. And that's important because, again, and anyone who has hired a lawyer knows that's not very common. And that's one of the reasons I've been with the firm as long as I have.
Nelson, I've had situations where personal injury clients have called me saying they've never even met their lawyer.
Yeah.
They've only met a paralegal. I can't even comprehend how that's even possible. Having a case, having a client, and never even meeting them. It just boggles my mind. And that's just the big difference between us and most other law firms out there.
That's right.
We meet our clients because we work on their cases.
And not just
practicing attorneys.
Not just do we meet our clients, Adam's office is literally down the hall from mine. When Adam has a PI client who has an immigration question, Adam will either buzz me or walk over and say, Nelson, please take a couple of minutes of your time. I want you to see my client. He doesn't have to do that.
And you've never once said no, not one time.
We're a team, and this is the beauty of our firm. We're a team. We work well together. And I think this is why you should call PPID.
Absolutely. 844-774-3529. And Adam is never, ever invisible, except when he's on Facebook at this moment.
I'm here. You know what? I'm on my laptop right now, and the battery is dying, so I figured I'd turn down the screen. So I'm just flying on audio right now.
Got you. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. What is that number? That is the number of a law firm, a full-service law firm in New York City that is serving more than just New York City. That is serving a people. I want for you all to store that number, 844-774-3529. We're also asking you, please, to share the page that you're watching on. Also subscribe to it. Share it with your friends right now. We're also asking you, if you have immigration questions, place them there right now so that we can answer them as we have been doing all morning. And once again, our special guest today happens to be the General. He's an attorney at the firm, Annakie. We call him the General because of his connections, because of his links, because of his depth and his experience in the immigration capacity and immigration law. He is truly the most knowledgeable individual in the immigration capacity right now, and he's exclusively with the firm PPID. And we're very thankful in having him on board. I am very thankful in having him on the show right here with Cruising with the Case Handler, Adam Handler, and myself. It's great to have you, Mr. General, Mr. Annakie. All right, so we're going to give you the floor again so you can expound and expand on obviously things that's happening out there. We want to hear some of your war stories. We have heard Adam Handler with his multi-million-dollar war stories on personal injury. I would personally like to hear some of your war stories after you have commented on anything that you'd like to speak in the immigration arena. I think.
Should I jump in, or is it?
Yes, you should jump in.
There you go, buddy. It's all you, man.
Okay, so we were talking previously about the fact that immigration is opening up. They'll be opening up on June 15th, starting with oath ceremony. So if you were scheduled to swearing in your naturalization case, you should be getting a call, getting a notice to come for your swearing in to become a U.S. citizen. Following that, in the near future, they will be calling you in for interviews, people who filed for naturalization and either got an interview notice, which was postponed, or never got an interview notice. That'll be the second thing, people calling for interviews. Now, people who were supposed to be coming in to be fingerprinted to the application support centers, that was postponed. You never got called for that. That will come later, but they're starting this thing, they're phasing this in. So immigration at 26 Federal Plaza, about 20% of the people are going to be, of the officers are going to be working in the building. 80% are going to be working at home. So immigration opening up is going to be phased in gradually. Also, some of you may have read that immigration may be running out of money. And that's one reason we talked about the fact that the fees may be going up. And we wanted people to know that especially the naturalization fees are going to be going up from $640 to $1,170. So if you want to save a good deal of money, and you're eligible to file for naturalization, do it as soon as possible. So a lot of things are opening up at immigration, but you've got to get on the ball. And if you need information, you have questions, don't forget to call us at the numbers we've been giving you. We're always available.
Absolutely. And once again, that's 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. We have to reiterate a few things. And one of them happens to be the public charge that we have been talking about. I think it's extremely important that we constantly reiterate that. Also, of course, our Brooklyn location. So if you can, I don't know who wants to jump in. Conrad, you want to jump in here on this?
No, let the general take it today. He's here.
General, okay, the public charge. Let's talk a little bit about that and as to why you believe people should not take this lightly.
No, this is really important, and the public charge will start to hit you in the face when you come for your immigration interview. So if you filed an application a year ago and you haven't been called for interview, when you get called for interview, this public charge is going to come up and it's going to hit you. So the thing is, you want to have us look at your papers, even if you've already filed, and to see what you can do to show them that you're not subject to the public charge, that you can satisfy the public charge regulations. Interestingly, I run a breakfast for congressional assistants about 3 times a year. And next Monday, I'm doing a breakfast for a lot of congressional assistants, and the topic is going to be public charge, because they want to know about it also so they can help people who live in their district. So public charge is really important. It would be a good idea for you to come and see us so we can look at your case and see if you satisfy the public charge regulations, and if you don't, so we can help you to satisfy them. Even if you haven't been called for interview, it's going to come up at the interview.
Yeah, the public charge rule has been in existence in immigration law for as long as there's been immigration laws. It's always been necessary that people immigrating to the United States can demonstrate that they can support themselves, or that they have family members that can support them. What's changed as of February 24th is that the current administration has found a way to really turn the screws and make it a lot more difficult for people, for the typical immigrant families, to try to remain in the United States legally and get their green cards. Previously, if you'd been on welfare or received food stamps, that would be a problem. You'd have to show you've been off, and you have to show that you have family that is taking care of you now, or that you're working and you're paying taxes. And typically that would be sufficient. It was quite, actually, I would say pretty unusual in over the past 10, 20, 30 years, where you'd see somebody who got denied for a public charge reason. It was fairly unusual. Now, going forward, I'm predicting it's going to be the most common reason that people are denied adjustment of status. Why? Because it's not just food stamps and welfare we're talking about anymore. They can use, there are so many different ways they've expanded that public charge definition. It even includes public housing. If you're on Section 8 housing or receiving rent vouchers or have received SNAP, you're not going to get your green card unless you can demonstrate that you can support yourself otherwise. They look back the last 3 years. If you've received a year of public assistance, you're out. And how do they calculate that 1 year? You could have received SNAP, food stamps, and Section 8 housing for 3 months, or I'm sorry, for a 3-month period for each of those 3 things. That's 9 months. They count everything individually. That's 9 months right there. All right. Oh. So if you've received 2 types of relief for 6 months, that's a year. You're out. You don't get your green card. So, this is serious stuff, people. And as Alan said, it is going to hit people in the face very soon.
And this public charge could come up also when you're going to an American consulate for an immigrant visa interview. It can come up and hit you there at the consulate when you're talking to the American consul and interviewing to see whether you get your green card. It'll come up there also.
Having bad credit, just something as simple as having bad credit could affect you because they want credit reports.
Yep. That's the reason why you guys got to go to usacreditrepair.inc.com. I know the guy who owns that very well. I've known him all my life. Anyway, let's just pop one here for the immigration attorneys. I'm going to flip it back over to personal injury. And I have my co-pilot here, Mr. Adam Handler, talk a little bit about why, even if you're out of status and you get into an accident, yes, you can do something about it with the case handler. But here's a question. I'm on the Facebook page. You guys are looking at it also. It says, as a petitioner, what to expect, what should one expect in the interview, and what's the next stage after the interview? Don't know if you guys have seen that.
Oh,
Anyone?
I'm sorry. What you can expect at an interview?
Yeah.
Is it a marriage-based case?
It doesn't say. Andres was, I don't know.
Right. So as Conrad would say, there's two types of cases, right? There's a marriage-based case and there's an employment-based case, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're the marriage-based case and you're the petitioner, you're obviously the employer. If it's a marriage or a family-based case, the petitioner would either be the qualifying family member, the family member who's here legally, or the USC or LPR spouse. If it's a marriage-based case, obviously they can ask you questions about the marriage, about the relationship, when you met, how long did you date before you got married. If it's an employment-based case, I've seen some immigration officers, you know, I've represented people who are bakers, and some immigration officers ask them specifically, what type of oven do you use? You know, how many trays can you bake in that oven? You know, what brand name is that oven? You know, tell me the recipe of something. So, you know, obviously everything is fair game, and it all depends on exactly what type of petitioner you are in what type of case.
It says, no, not a marriage family. It's right there, you know, so.
What? It says what?
It says, no, not a marriage family.
Okay, so as I said, then basically they're going to ask as to your credentials, your qualifications, and your experience if it's an employment-based case.
And maybe if it's when he says not family, maybe he's talking maybe as a sibling or a parent or something. They're going to want proof of the relationship, and they're going to want, for instance, if it's a father applying for a son, they may say, you know, they might have questions about there's an actual relationship between them. Maybe there was no blood test that was ever done. If they're suspicious about the situation, they might ask for a blood test. Perfect situation. Just I'll tell the story quickly. We have a case right now that we're working on, Nelson, where the people did the father got his green card through his wife or whatever years before they came to see us. And in that application, for whatever reason, he never mentioned that he had a son, right? Now that son is applying for his green card, right? And the father is applying for the son. But immigration looked back at the father's petition and looked, and he said, wait a minute, you never told us you had a child. Now all of a sudden you have a son that you're applying for? We want proof that it's your son. Right? And they have to get a blood test to prove it. That's a typical situation that a petitioner could face. We have that case ongoing right at the second.
There you go. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the number is 844-774-3529. Thanks a lot for the distraction there, Adam. 844-774-3529. Make the call. And by the way, Andre, I know you're watching us on Facebook. Listen, man, just pick up the phone and call, you know, one of the attorneys, man, off the air and speak to them more about your case. So it seems like you've got quite a few questions. And remember, the phone consultation is free. But after you do the consultation, Andre, just hire them, all right? It's very important that you do that. Here's another quick one, okay? And then read them up, Adam. Denisha says, I have a question. If the I-130 receipt is an IOE number, then USCIS sent back my I-485 form saying to send in the updated form because apparently the outdated form was sent in. But I realized on the letter they sent back got a different IOE number on it. Any idea why? And once again, that's from Denisha, who asked a question earlier.
It seems like the application that was filed had already expired. And so you have to refile a new application with an updated date, because these applications, after a while, they expire, and you have to look at the form to see if the form you're filing is still valid or it's expired. And that happens from time to time when people don't realize that and file with an expired form, and then they send it back to you and you have to fix it and send it back with an updated form.
Go ahead, Nelson, I'm sorry.
No, we're probably going to say the same thing. Basically, they are looking for any excuse to kick back applications, period.
Also, the current administration, you know, look, forms are always updated. All right, it's always, I've been practicing for 35 years. Forms, every application form is updated at some point or other. However, this administration changes the forms pretty much on an annual basis, if not more frequently. And what do? Every time they change the form, They make it longer and more complicated and more intrusive into people's lives. So what may have been a 4-page application a few years ago is now 15 pages. What form was 10 pages a few years ago is now 25 pages. And you can think of any application out there, I-130, I-45, you name it. Every one of them has been updated recently and is probably twice the length that it was previously.
And
You know,
if any-
Squeeze, and if I may, also, if something was not applicable to you, you left it blank. Now, if you leave anything blank,
Right.
they will kick it back.
Or deny
You
it.
know, that's
Or
right.
deny it.
That's right. So, you know, and I mean, obviously, how do we know? Because we do this every day, you know? But again, people will start seeing this more and more.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's called Cruisin with the Case Handler. You just heard from the immigration attorneys. Call the firm, PPID, at 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. This show is about to get more interactive, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm about to turn on the fire and light up this show. So this way you all can participate more. So once again, 844-774-3529. The key here is, yes, you're dialing the number, you're storing the number. What about retaining the attorneys? That's one of the biggest mistakes people made and make. And Nelson spoke about it the other day. Everybody wants to do their own case, and more power to you. But you do it, and in these times, I can't say it enough. Don't do your case yourself. Call the attorneys, get a free consultation. Work something out with them, for a payment plan if you don't have enough money now, okay? But you should make it your priority, okay? You should make it your priority where money is concerned to get your case sorted out. Yes, these attorneys have families too, so they are a for-profit attorney. However, in my opinion, they can't say it, I can say it, they are the best. I'm giving you the best attorneys right here on social media and the radio. Adam Handler is doing the same. So, listen, hire them. 844-774-3529. Let's flip it over to Adam Handler. And Adam, we must share your true success stories on the Facebook page when you're doing it, man, and pin it when we're talking about it. All right. So that's what I meant when I said we're get more interactive. So people, while they're watching the Facebook page, can just click on the link and see that you're not BSing that you have settled millions of dollars for people. So we're going to be doing more of that.
Well, you know, since
I'll
Adam
leave
is
that-
not on, we don't have video on Adam. Let me put a picture of him up there right now. There it is. There's Adam.
Oh God, I can only imagine. See what happens when I let you guys take over. There's probably a picture of me when I was 14 years old and acne and looking like a nerd. So, listen, things have changed over the years, guys.
Before you got braces.
I am the case handler. Yeah, exactly. I did have braces, but listen, all I can say is, you know, we do it differently. And that goes across the board with our areas of practice, whether it's personal injury, immigration, real estate, matrimonial, criminal defense. I say this all the time. We just handle ourselves differently. Our approach to the law is unique. Our approach to client relations is unique. Because we just have been doing it for so long and it's in our blood. Like I always say, I'm a 3rd-generation attorney. Conrad's a 2nd-generation attorney. You know, we have decades and decades of experience under our belt, not only dealing with the law, but dealing with clients. And you'll be hard-pressed to find clients give us either a bad review online or make some sort of complaint saying that we didn't live up to, you know, the expectations that we built up, because we're very, very careful in giving those expectations. You know, we pride ourselves on not giving refunds. We don't give refunds. We don't need to. Why don't we need to give refunds, Nelson?
Because we're not going to take your case if it is not worth taking.
That is correct.
Yeah,
My apologies.
You
That's a wake up Nelson again, you know?
No, you know what it is?
Send me to law school.
No. The problem is I have both of my children who are doing work right now, so I mute it. And then when I'm asked a question, with the mouse, I'm trying to unmute it, and I'm not quick enough. Yeah, I'm not quick enough. I'm sorry.
You are never off the hook, brother. Yes, we don't give refunds because we don't take cases that we can't deliver on. right? A client's not going to say, you told me you can do something for me. You can't do it. I want my money back. It's just not going to happen, especially in personal injury, because, a lot of people ask me, oh, well, I wasn't sure if I should go with you. You seem like you're all, very, very out there and high powered, and I wasn't sure if I can afford you. Personal injury is on a contingency fee, right? I get paid at the end of the case if and only if I'm successful for you. There's no money out of pocket to start a case with the case handler team. I only get paid if I win money for you. So there's really no risk to you at all. And if, God forbid, nothing comes out of the case, which seldom happens, but sometimes it does, there's things that we can't control, either with insurance or the fact that, you want to drop the case maybe. A lot of people through the years, not a lot of people, but people through the years just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And you know what? I'm disappointed, but they have the right to do it. And, they go their way, I go my way, and they don't owe me any money. So there's no risk to you and your family, no reason whatsoever that I can think of that you should not have what you believe to be the best possible attorney representing you and your family in a personal injury case. We say this all the time, one chance to get it right, one chance, one choice of lawyer, and it should be your case handler.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great show. Love the interaction with everyone. The general, of course, as usual, stepped up, letting you know what's happening out there. And I love his depth and knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, on immigration. Adam Handler, love you, my brother. Love what you've been doing for my people and all people. When
Same here, man. Same here.
Man. You guys are great. Nelson, knowledgeable as usual. Conrad, knowledgeable as usual. I believe this is going to be, and I'm putting myself out, the greatest thing that has come to the community in a very long time. I see it, I feel it, I know it, okay, and I'm very happy, okay, especially with what's going on out there with racism and all this crap. I'm very happy that we've got attorneys here representing us, true attorneys, true to the cause, true to the reason, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy that they are on my team. They are on your team. And if you have questions, listen, don't take my word for it. Call them off air, privately and confidentially. Speak to the general himself. Okay, that's Alan Kay. Speak to the Maverick himself, Nelson Madrid. Speak with Conrad Pollack himself, the managing attorney and the maestro. Speak with Adam Handler himself. Let him send you true success stories about his personal injury cases. Call him at 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Yeah, this is an attorney advertisement. Yes, we know that. But prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. However, we have proven time and time again what it is that these attorneys can do, have done, will do. And I like the fact that they say they will not take a case unless they're sure they're going to be able to get you results in any capacity of the law that they practice under the firm PPID. 844-774-3529. Gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here. We must remind everyone out there, gentlemen, that they need to share the Facebook page. They need to join the WhatsApp group, and they need to call the number 844-774-3529 and subscribe to the Facebook page you're watching. And please, for God's sake, before Adam kills me, like and follow his page. Up his numbers, all right? He kills me every day. Follow his IG also, okay? Anyway, that's it for me. Gentlemen, any final comments?
I think we're good. I think we covered a lot of ground today. Good stuff. Good show today.
Yep, great show, guys.
Okay, thank you all so much. Let's tune in again tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. weekdays on 93.5 and also on Facebook, ESP. And on Saturdays and Sundays, it's 7 p.m. on Saturdays, 12 noon on Sundays. With that said, drops mic, I'm out. Got a couple of immigration questions. All right. All right, here we go. First immigration question. And once again, folks, remember this show is about personal injury and immigration. So we go back and forth between the two capacities. So I want to say thanks to the attorneys being on board. Our guest today is Shruti, about to have that baby right here on the show. Okay.
Shruti baby Bali.
There you go. All right. So here's the first question. What is the minimum financial requirements for a wife, a husband, and a dependent. My wife's annual income is $28,600. NVC said this is not enough. I was asked to get a joint sponsor, but my civil documents and fees were all accepted.
So, you know, unfortunately, frequently USCIS immigration makes mistakes. There are poverty guidelines. You could Google 2020 USCIS I-864 poverty guidelines, and they will tell you what's the minimum you need to make based on the number of people in the household. That's not information I think that a lawyer would know off the top of his head. Again, it's easily accessible. But again, USCIS is known to make mistakes. We have personally represented several people where immigration has said you don't make enough money. We've responded and basically shown them that according to their guidelines, our clients do make enough money and a joint sponsor is not required.
Okay. All right, here's another one. Oh, they didn't follow. I mean, this was a follow-up on that part of the question. So I'm in process of filing in the information at the Consul Electronic Application Center and make payments for the F4 family base sponsorship. If I would like to add a joint sponsor for affidavit of support, who is a friend, what is this process of adding the joint sponsor in the CEAC form? Interesting.
An F4 is a brother or sister of a U.S. citizen. You know, the priority date is 2006, so I'm assuming that they filed 14 years ago.
Mhm.
I believe that should be included in the packet 3. No, Shruti?
It should be included in the initial I-130 as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and Squeeze, again, this is a perfect example. This is why you don't do things by